so wild to me that a thousand people have subscribed to this channel, and I honestly can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. So I know some of y'all submitted some questions, and I also just threw in a couple of my own that I thought were kind of interesting, but we'll get to them as we get to them. So let's get started. Let's get started with the first question. The first question comes from someone who I think is kind of like an OG of the channel, and without fail, this person always comments on my videos, and I so appreciate it. It's appreciated. It is very, very, very much appreciated. And this one comes from Winterlinks. And the question is, what made you want to start an ASMR channel? And to me, I don't know this person personally, but this just really feels like a classic, like, leave it to old Winterlinks to ask that question. It just feels very in line with, like, the made-up person that just like the idea of this person that I have. That feels very in line. In line with who this character is to me. And I will say there was a similar comment, similar question from Logan Bautista. There were some numbers, hang on. 5134. Logan Bautista 5134 similarly asked, what inspired you to start making ASMR videos? I think for me, I watched ASMR for I don't want to say like a really, really long time, but I feel like I watched it decently enough, and just kind of thought, like, all of these creators are making something that very much helps me, and I kind of wanted to just like return the favor, so to speak, that I get so much out of ASMR videos that I also wanted to try and give something back, and like if I could also help someone relax, then all the better. I think that's pretty common for a lot of ASMR artists, at least from like similar videos that I've seen. People asking that kind of question, and them just sort of being like, I watched it for a while, and it's helped me so much that I wanted to also like help other people and stuff. So I think mine is very similar, and I think I've always been a more creative person. So I think also it's sort of like another creative outlet as well to make these videos. It's just another creative outlet, and I'm not gonna say I don't like put time and effort and whatever into these videos, but at the end of the day it is still kind of like a whatever hobby, right? Like, it's not a source of income really, and it's just like something fun that I like to do, and it just gives me something else to do that's not like you know, being at work or just like watching a million shows and stuff. Like it's something a little bit more productive, I guess, but like a different kind of productive. So yeah, that's why I started this channel, and that's sort of what inspired me to make ASMR videos, to make ASMR videos. Alright, question two. I'm gonna wrap those two into one because they had a similar theme. So question two, this one comes from Bex underscore SS. Bex underscore SS. The first part of the question is, what is your favorite trigger? What is your favorite trigger? What is your favorite trigger? Oh, Bex, that's a very hard question. I feel like it changes. It honestly changes every day. I feel like I think something that I want to say consistently, something that consistently is a favorite trigger is that like proximity ASMR effect, where someone may be starting further away. It doesn't always have to be soft spoken. It can still be a whisper, but they just gradually get closer and closer and closer and closer, right up in your ear, and again further away, and again as they get closer and closer and closer and closer to the right in your ear, and then they back away. I think Cap Bailey ASMR does a really good job at being further away and then getting really close. But there's also obviously the what is it? I think it's Relaxing Male ASMR, who has a bunch of videos that is the proximity effect. And those are really good too. I feel like there's at least two of them that I have watched into the ground. Like I just always come back to those ones specifically. Come back to those ones. So I think that is definitely one of my favorite triggers for sure. And the second part of that, what is your least favorite? What is your least favorite trigger? That's also a great question. I think there's a few that I'm not totally fond of. There's a few that I'm not absolutely thrilled about. But I think the top one has to be eating. I can't handle the eating just in my ears. Like that's not the one. There's mouth sounds, and then there's mouth sounds, right? Like it's just, it's too intense. It's too intense for me. I really don't like that one. I think probably altogether that has to be my least favorite trigger. Alright, now we are gonna go into one of the questions that I thought would be pretty fun, and it's just like a bunch of like, what is your guilty pleasure for XYZ for the topic or whatever. So the first one is, what is your guilty pleasure song? guilty pleasure song. Guilty pleasure. And I think for me, that has to be Breakaway, Breakaway, Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson. That is a jam. Whenever it comes on my guitar playlist, I don't think I've ever skipped it. There's a lot of songs that as I'm going through, I'm like, I don't feel like playing this one, whatever. That one comes on, it's getting played, it's getting played. It's super easy to play, but still just like really fun. Really fun, really fun. Really fun to play as well. So that's guilty pleasure song. Guilty pleasure movie. I think that one has to be the American Pie movies. Like the spin-offs are okay, but I think like the original 4 of them is like, that's my guilty pleasure movie. Your movies, I guess, movie theme, I suppose, but those are, I think, my guilty pleasure movies. They're so ridiculous. Guilty pleasure restaurant. Guilty pleasure restaurant. Guilty pleasure restaurant. I think that one is gonna have to be Pizza Hut. 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 It is so disgustingly good. And there's a lot of times if I just like have an evening to myself, it's just me in the house, whatever, this is so sad and embarrassing. It's not supposed to be that sad, but despite it just being me, I call it having a boys' night, and I'll probably get Pizza Hut a lot of the time. I feel like I do it like once every like 3 months or something like that. So regularly enough that I'll have a singular boys' night and get Pizza Hut, have a couple beers, and honestly probably watch an American Pie movie. So it's just everything kind of wrapped up into one. Yeah, I don't even know, like, it is so gross, but it is so good. Definitely my favorite guilty pleasure restaurant. Guilty pleasure TV show. That one, if it's not going to be like American Pie for my boys' night, it's going to be Geordie Shore. Way I. Geordie Shore. Geordie Shore. Geordie Shore. Hands down. Gotta be Geordie Shore. I have not seen Jersey Shore. I've seen Floribama Shore. I saw Canada Shore. That was a frickin' mess. Oh my god, that was, like, you can tell, beside it being in the title, you can tell it was Canadian. It was so bad. But I watched the whole thing. But yeah, Geordie Shore, 100%. And I think especially after Chloe came into the house, she is so ridiculous and funny and like absolutely my favorite character on that show. Like, oh gosh, she's ridiculous. But that guilty pleasure show, Geordie Shaw, way high. That's 100% has to be that one. Let's see. Guilty pleasure. Book. Guilty pleasure book. I think that for me that has to be The Outsiders. The Outsiders, and I think the reason why I kind of consider it like a guilty pleasure is because it's like very much like a very young adult book. It's like, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I read that in grade 8. It's like, yeah, so did I, and I loved it, and I still love it. And I've seen both versions of the movie. Like, it's yeah, it's, I don't know why I love that book so much. It's not even as if I was like, I really resonate with the outsiders. Like, it's not even that. It's just, I don't know. I think maybe it's also like a nostalgic kind of thing even. Because I feel like growing up, I was never like a big reader. Like, I was never, yeah, really into reading a whole lot. I don't know if it was just like I wasn't finding things that, like, I wasn't interested in any of the books or anything. But then, yeah, in grade 8 we read The Outsiders, and I'm fairly certain we also watched the movie afterwards. And I think, yeah, it was just like maybe one of the first books that I actually really liked and enjoyed. Like, I would like look forward to that part of the class when it was like, okay, now get out your books, we're gonna have some reading, and then we're gonna talk about the chapter we all just read, or like, you know, whatever it was, however it was structured. I think I just, yeah, really enjoyed it. So I think maybe there's like a bit of a nostalgic kind of feeling with that book. So I think that's probably my guilty pleasure book, just because it is like so young, right? But you know, you like what you like, and that's okay. And the last one for guilty pleasure stuff, just more of like an overall general guilty pleasure, and obviously I think that has to be ASMR. I think it's still, not that it's not popular, like a lot of these channels wouldn't have literally millions of subscribers if it wasn't popular, but popular. Sorry, that word just sounded good there for a second. Yeah, it's not that it's not popular, but I think it still does seem, to people who don't really watch ASMR, like, know what it's about, I think it obviously still seems like very weird. It's an odd kind of thing that people enjoy. Someone whispering really close in their ear. Someone whispering closely in their ear. Or getting really close to the camera. Really close to the camera. Like, it's an odd thing, right? And I think too, like, there's just a lot of, so many people just put it into this kind of box of like being a very sexualized thing, and it can be that for sure, but I don't think it is that 100% of the time by any means. But that's kind of the idea people go with for it. So I think just overall, like, just a guilty pleasure kind of thing is just ASMR. I mean, nobody aside from my partner knows I have this channel. So, like, if that doesn't make it a guilty pleasure, I don't really know what else will. And it's like, this will be the last thing I say and we'll move on. It's such an interesting thing though, because it's not as if I'm ashamed of this channel by any means. Like, if someone I knew were to find it and be like, you know, send me a link and be like, this you, I'm gonna be like, hell yeah, that's me. Like, it's something I enjoy doing. It's, yeah, just a creative outlet kind of hobby. And but at the same time, it's like I'm also not willingly sharing that information. Like when you meet new people or whatever, and it's like, oh, what do you like to do? Like, what are your hobbies, like outside of work? It's like, I like music, and like I'll leave it at that kind of thing. But yeah, just an overall interesting. I have a lot of feelings about it, I guess. I guess that's just what it boils down to. But we'll move on. We'll move on. We will move on. We will move on. The next question. We are gonna go back to the second one that my good OG friend Winterlinks submitted. And that one is, just gotta find it in my notes here. Where do you want to travel / vacation, and why? Oh, buddy, that one's hard. That's a tough one, my dude. I think first I want to say I'm not the best traveler. I don't love flying. For long car rides, I'm always just, I turn into a 3-year-old. It's just like, are we there yet? I'm hungry. Can we change the music? I have to pee. It's just, I'm not a good traveler at all. I think it's maybe getting better, but just that in mind. I'm also torn between picking somewhere that I've already been but maybe want to explore more of, or picking somewhere that I've never been before. I don't know, I think I'm maybe leaning more towards the former. And a couple years ago, my partner and I did like 3.5 weeks in Europe, and we did 2 like guided tours. The first guided tour was of Scandinavian countries. So it was Denmark, Sweden, and then we finished in Norway. And then the next guided tour was in Scotland. And between the 2 tours, we had like a week or so. So my partner and I explored Amsterdam, and London. Just kind of on our own. But that trip was like, it was a couple years ago, and I still just like remember it. I miss it. Like, it was so cool. So I think I'm kind of torn between going back to one of those places and somewhere new, but I think it would be probably between Denmark and Sweden. I would go back and explore a little bit more of those places. And I mean, like how can you pass up going to Tivoli? Like, that amusement park is like top notch. It was so good. That was a great amusement park. It was so fun. I don't do roller coasters. I'm not big on that. And like, this amusement park was really good. Yeah, so I think I would probably go back to Denmark. It is really hard too, though, because like I loved Scotland. Like, it was so great. Like, I really do think that if the opportunity ever presented itself, that it was like, if like your job was sending you somewhere for like a year, and it was like, yeah, you can do this job, but you need to move to Edinburgh for a year, I'd be like, I won't even do the job, I'll just move there. No, I thought Edinburgh was so cool, and it was just such a different vibe, I guess. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really like Dido ASMR generally, but also the fact that like he has videos that's like a day in the life of an ASMR or whatever, and like in that video he's like taking the bus, and I was like, I was there, I was at that bus stop, I know where that is, like, and just being able to see it again and stuff, like, it's really cool. So yeah, that one's really hard. I mean, I guess the good thing about Europe is that, like, not that everything is like super close, but like it's a lot easier to get to. Like, if I was in Denmark, I feel like you can go to Sweden for like the weekend, depending on where, but like you totally could. Like, they're really not that far from each other, which is great. But oh my gosh, I just ramble so long, I'm so sorry. The answer to that would be probably Denmark, because I want to explore more of it and just really enjoyed my time when I was there. Let's bring it back to another question from Bex, and that one is, what types of ASMR videos would you like to do in the future? I think there's probably the biggest one would be like more role play videos. I think I've done, like, I know I've done a couple like eye tests and whatever, but it doesn't feel like a true kind of roleplay, I guess. I think there's like one cranial nerve exam video, so I would like to try that again. I don't know why, but the idea of doing a roleplay always sort of intimidated me. I don't know, maybe it's because like for almost every single video I just kind of hit record and off we go, and whatever happens, that's the video that we made that day. But I think with a role play, it's like, very intentional, it's like more thought out and stuff, right? And I think, I don't know, maybe that part is a little bit intimidating, that it's like, and not even in regards to like, oh, that's so much extra work, I don't want to do that, because I love roleplay videos, like, they're so great, but I don't know, I think maybe because like there are so many like really good ones out there too, that I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. But I would like to try different roleplay videos, in the future. So also, if y'all have any ideas for any roleplays, like, let me know what you want to see. Let's just finish it off with the questions from Bex. The question is, what are things you like to do in your free time aside from ASMR? That's a really good question. I feel like whenever people ask me like, oh, what do you like to do? I'm just like, I don't know. I watch TV shows sometimes. But I think I know I said before that like I haven't really been like the biggest reader, but I get back into it. And I think part of that too is just like, I'm building up the anticipation. I think part of that too is just like finding books and stories that you actually want to read and not feel like, you know, you need to read some big, fancy, like well-known, sophisticated kind of book. Like, I don't know, you can find meaning in anything, certainly, but I think sometimes reading can just be for fun and because you want to escape from your own world for a little bit, but not have more like screen time. Another thing that I also I feel like for a while, you know, work and everything else had just been like, and just, you know, general existence had just been like so busy and like overwhelming that I'm like, I don't have capacity for a lot of things. That's usually what happens when you notice I don't post for a while. It's because after work, I sit on the couch and I'm like, this is all I have spoons for. I can't do anything else right now. But I do want to try and also get back into personal finance and investing. That was like a huge thing, like a huge interest for me at like the beginning of 2020. It was one of those things that like when I started learning about it, it would be like I would get home from work, you know, have dinner, whatever, and then just like sit in front of my laptop and I look at the time and it's 6:30. I look at the time 3 minutes later and it's like 1 a.m. and I'm like, nuts. I best be going to bed. But I was just like so into it. Like it was so interesting and just like, yeah, I don't know. So I have started like slowly getting back into personal finance and stuff like that, and just finding ways to, you know, optimize my personal finance and all these different things, right? I feel like I still have a long way to go. Honestly, I don't think it'll ever be like truly optimized to the point where it is like I couldn't do anything more or better or whatever, but that's also okay. Another hobby that I have started to like do a little bit more of, but there is only so much you can do of this one, is home brewing. I like to brew beer. Home brewing. And it's just like, it's so cool to just like learn about the science and the amount of math that goes into brewing beer. Like I'm a creative person. I'm not a numbers person, despite really liking personal finance and stocks and investing. I make it make sense. I really don't know, but the amount of math and everything that goes into brewing beer, it's like, it's wild, and all the science and everything, but it is still really cool to learn. And I recently made two beers. One was a blonde ale, another one was a Hefeweizen. So yeah, I think those are a couple things that I enjoy doing outside of ASMR and want to like kind of get back into doing more of. Yeah, also music as well. I have always wanted to play piano. I've always wanted to learn how to play piano. And like so much so that we got this keyboard back there. And I think I just need to sort of like set aside, just, you know, make myself like a little schedule almost of just being like, okay, like I want to like learn actually how to play, but also like, you know, all of the stuff behind it. What am I trying to say? Like the music theory. Like I actually can't read music. have never been able to. I don't know if it was just, I don't always explained in a way that I just like didn't understand, and I took a university course in first year that was like intro to music and stuff, and I just was not understand. I just wasn't getting it, and I feel like too it was sort of like explained in one way, and you either got it or you didn't, and I didn't get it. So I ended up dropping that class because I was like, this is gonna bring my entire average down. I don't want to fail this course because I can't understand what all these notes mean and whatever. So I did end up dropping that class, but I think also learning for fun and as a hobby, and because I have always wanted to learn how to play piano, I think that's, vastly different than learning for a grade, right? Like there's so much more pressure with school and, maintaining that average and whatever. And like I wasn't even a good student anyway. Like I was not, like C's get degrees, man. Like I was not a good student. University learning wasn't my kind of learning. I thrived in college. I did so well in college, but reading a textbook and then taking a test on it, that's not how I learn. But anyway, so I think learning piano, getting back into like personal finance and investing and stuff, and just like reading more are some things that I do, or like I want to do more of outside of ASMR. And I also don't know why every question is like 25 minutes of an answer, but here we are. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, this is another one of the questions that I had seen that I wanted to include, and it is, do you have any hidden talents or skills? And this one was kind of fun because when I read it, I like immediately thought of a kind of funny story. So the hidden talent / skill is that I can play guitar behind my head. And the kind of funny story is that in university, it was my birthday, so me and a few friends went out. There was a pub that was literally across the parking lot from like the apartment buildings that I lived in. So like it was great. So we went there for my birthday, and they had someone performing that night. This woman was playing guitar and singing, and I had never seen the kind of guitar that she had before. It was an acoustic guitar, but it was like really, really thin. It wasn't like that, really wide, thick body that you would normally think of an acoustic guitar having. So I hadn't really like seen that before. So I was just like, well, that's cool, whatever. And I don't know if this, I feel like this is maybe a common thing, but I feel like for a lot of birthday celebrations that happened in university, there was like an unwritten rule kind of thing that like you yourself didn't buy any drinks on your birthday. Everyone would just buy you drinks and stuff. So I had a couple drinks at this point, and the performer was she was just like, all right, like, thanks so much, I'm gonna take a break and I'll be back in like 15 minutes, whatever. And then she went to the bar, and then I was like, I don't know, that's a cool guitar, I want to learn more about it. Like, so I'm not usually the kind of person to just like go up to people and just like start talking to them. But yeah, so I was just like, hey, that was a great set, and I was just like, that guitar is so interesting. Like I hadn't seen anyone or anything like that before, so just wanted to know more about it. So we were just like chatting for a bit, and then she was like, oh, do you play? And I said, oh yeah, I do. And then she was like, when I go back up, like, you should join me for a song. Like, what do you know? And we settled on, like, I know a lot of Green Day songs because they're my favorite band, so we settled on a Green Day song. So when she went back, I went up and started playing Basket Case because, like, of course, it's a crowd favorite. So I was playing that, and then after that, she was like doing her thing, you know, like talking with the audience, like whatever it was. And I had started playing. I just took it upon myself. I thought I was going to be joining the entire set, I guess. So I just started playing Good Riddance, Time of Your Life. And she was like standing in front and I was behind. And that, like, I had put the guitar behind my head and started playing that song. And she was like, oh, like mid talking, she was like, oh, I guess we're playing another one. And like turned back to look at me. And then was like, everybody, I need everybody to stop what you're doing and acknowledge what is happening right now. He is playing guitar behind his head. And just like everyone like turned and looked. And like, I don't know what I expected to happen. That's just like, if I was like, oh, I'm just playing music, like I'm just so lost in the moment, like I really don't know. But so like that was kind of funny. But the other funny part of that was a little bit later, like a couple months, a month, whatever, how long later, that same pub was, they were hiring for back of house in the kitchen, and I had applied, and when I interviewed, I got the job, and a little bit after I got the job, one of the back of house managers was like, yeah, no, we all remember you from when you just went on stage and played guitar behind your head. So we were also like, someone who just does that is probably pretty chill and like would fit in well here. So like, you know, we remembered you for that. But yeah, I think as far as like hidden talents and or skills, I think that one is probably just a fun one to kind of carry around in my back pocket. But anyway, let's we can move on from that. Alright, and the final question comes from plasma underscore RIN, plasma underscore RIN, plasma. And it is, well, they said first, I love your industrial piercing, which, thank you. And the question is, do you have any tattoos? If so, can you show them to us and tell us their meanings? Oh my gosh, this is where it's gonna take a long time. I will try to be concise. So, we'll start with this one, and it is a guitar pick. The drumsticks came later, it wasn't all together, but I got it when I was 15, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was 15. This one, obviously, is because, like, I love music, I play guitar, you know, whatever, and I do also play drums. That the drumsticks came, I think, like a year or so later. But the thing about this tattoo, if you just like glance at it and look away, it looks normal, probably. If you really look at it, it is a god-awful tattoo. It is so bad. Like, it's the lines on the drumsticks, like, they are not even the little, like, tips of the drumsticks. Like, it is absolutely terrible. It is a terrible tattoo. I'm also kind of like, yeah, it's a really bad tattoo, but I kind of like that it's so bad because it was my first ever one. I was 15 years old. Like, I feel like that very much is in line with what you think of when it's like, yeah, I got a tattoo at 15 and this was it. And it wasn't even as if I went to like some sketchy place or whatever. It was a reputable place. Like, I don't know if it was just that person was new or what, but it's not a good tattoo, but that's okay. That's okay. it's actually like his shadow, and only his hat and the little feather in his hat are in color, and the rest is just black like a shadow. I have always just really liked Peter Pan, I guess. I mean, oh gosh, the movie, like, it did not age well. I know that. It's not a good story, but I don't know. I think just the whole idea of, like, you know, never growing up kind of thing, and just like remembering to be a kid sometimes. Like, it doesn't matter if you're 30, 40, 50, 85. Like, I don't know. I think the amount that people just like don't get excited about things anymore, or like, I don't know, just like stuff like that, I'm just like, just enjoy it. Like, who cares what people think? It's just, it's, you know, you're not hurting anybody. Like, it's just for fun. It's okay to enjoy things. So I think, yeah, that one for me, that Peter Pan one for me, sort of reminds me of those things sometimes. This next one is very special to me. It is my old, like, childhood dog's paw prints, and it says, "Forever my best friend, forever my best friend, forever my best friend, forever my best friend." And I got this one, I think, shortly-ish, I think, after my dog had passed away. He was 13, so he lived a good life. He lived a great life. He was so sassy and had such a personality, as they all do, right? But he was my special little guy. He was my pup, and yeah, this one was just to, you know, remember him. And I like the style of, like, watercolor kind of tattoos and stuff, and I had already had these paw prints because we, my partner and I had done like a little, like, a family portrait, kind of like my handprint, my partner's handprint, and my dog's paw print in the middle. It was all like pet safe paint and everything, obviously, but so we did that. So I had his paw prints already, and just, yeah, I brought it to this tattoo artist that I really liked, and obviously does really good work in this, like, watercolor style. And yeah, I really like how it turned out as well. Like, I think it's still like a solid tattoo. And it's kind of like, wherever I go in life, he's walking with me, kind of thing. So this one is, yeah, very special and meaningful to me as well. This next one, I mean, for the most part, I think they all kind of have a meaning, but this next one is for my grandmother, for my grandmother, for my grandmother, for my grandma, for my grandmother, for my grandmother, for my grandma. I feel like a lot of my childhood was just, I just have so many memories of spending, like, all day, every summer at my grandma's house. Like, me and my sister would go every day. And so, like, obviously so many just great memories, like, of being with my grandma and stuff. So yeah, that one is also meaningful. That one is, I just show you here. That's not quite on the collarbone. Not quite on the collarbone. Because, like, that would hurt, being, like, right on the collarbone. No thank you. But it's just, like, under it. But yeah, so that is that one. And this next one is kind of one that I'm like, not that I'm embarrassed by it, but it's also kind of one that I'm like, I don't really want someone to ask me about it. It's on my arm here, and it is a quote that says, "You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to change." And it is a quote from Matthew Perry, who I feel like everyone probably does and, should know who he is, but his biggest role was Chandler on Friends. This was from a People magazine article. He was on the cover, and they did like a cover story of him. This was when he had been sober for a little while. And yeah, that article was just about him and his sobriety and the work that he did building his like foundation and stuff like that, and his charity work and like stuff like that. This quote, I feel like, when I read it, it was like, you have to want to help, you have to be willing to change. And I read it and I was like, wow, yeah, like that can also be applied to so many things. Like I'm a very anxious person. I feel like I have a lot of anxiety that I think only got worse during COVID. And then having a fully remote job and like essentially never really leaving the house, it sort of started being like, house is safe, outside not safe. But like obviously that's not entirely true, right? So I think also just like wanting to push myself a little bit more outside of my comfort zone and challenge that anxiety and stuff. Like I think this quote sort of like resonated with me for like those reasons and stuff. And just like, yeah, like you have to be willing to change. It's kind of, like nothing changes if nothing changes. So I think that one is like a good reminder for me as well. So this next one, I will say it doesn't really have very much of like a meaning at all. Just even that like I am very much a night owl. I love nighttime. I love the moon, and I like, watercolor galaxy, like galaxy kind of vibe. So I was like, let's put all of those things into one. So I got the moon in like a watercolor kind of galaxy. The words above and below it have a little bit more meaning. It is a quote from a Green Day song. A Green Day song. The song is Still Breathing. Still breathing. Still breathing. And the quote is, are you scared to death to live? And I think for me it kind of, also just like going back to, you have to be willing to change kind of thing, like pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone and stuff like that. Like it all kind of blends in together, I guess. That's like, yeah, are you scared to death to live? Like, what are you so afraid of about going out to this event, about doing this, doing that, whatever it is? Like, what are you so afraid of? Like, why are you so scared? Like, this is like, I'm saying like me to me. Like, why are you so scared of living? Like, you can experience so many things if you just kind of push outside that comfort zone even a little bit. That's why that one kind of, sticks with me a little bit as well. A little bit. I think we're almost done. I knew this would take a while. That's why I made this the last question. This next one, I think, was purely just, I just want to think of myself as an outdoors person, and I know I'm not, and that's okay that I'm not, but it's something that I do still. Like, who doesn't love a good campfire? Like, that's great. And like, I guess to be fair, growing up, I did go camping a lot. So it's not as if I've never been outside before or I haven't camped before or whatever, but yeah, this one, I think was very much like, I just wanted something cool and like a campfire with like like around some trees. Like, sounds perfect. Let's just do that. So that's the story of that one, I feel like. This one, I think I so often forget I have this one because it's kind of small. It's right there, kind of on the back of my wrist arm. I don't know, what do you call this space? Whatever. So I always forget I have this one, but it is the act, scene, and line number of a line in Hamlet. It's my favorite Shakespeare play. I'm an English major who doesn't like to read. Again, make it make sense. I don't like math and I love personal finance. I'm an English major who doesn't like to read. I don't even know who I am. But yeah, Hamlet is my favorite Shakespeare play, and this line. So like, yeah, Act 2, Scene 2, line 249. 249 is, there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. And honestly, I knew I wanted some kind of like Hamlet tattoo. And yeah, so I just, was kind of like leafing through and like seeing what would be a good kind of Hamlet tattoo. Like, what would be a good quote? What is something that, like still felt meaningful to me and stuff. And I think this one is, in line with, I feel like, all the other quotes that I have that are sort of just like, yeah, there's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. It's sort of like the way you think about things and like perceive things, it can directly impact how those situations turn out. Going into things with an open mind, being positive about stuff, even when your situation may not entirely be working out the way you exactly thought it would. Just like not right away like shutting down and being like, well, now the rest of the day is just gonna be crap because we were supposed to do a picnic and now it's raining and now I'm gonna be in a bad mood for the rest of the day, right? Like, it's, it's the fact that it rained when you were supposed to have a picnic. It's not either good or bad. It kind of just is. But it's the way that you think about it is what makes it good or bad. Kind of think that's how I sort of like think about it anyway. And just, yeah, also trying to remind myself too that, like, there are things that aren't always going to work out, but that's okay. There will be a solution. Whether or not it's a solution that is even what you wanted to happen, like, that's okay if it's not as well. But you'll always get through things, and again, like, you've gotten through everything up until this point. Every time you think, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to go through, you've gotten through it. And yeah, I think just for me, like, I knew I wanted a Hamlet themed tattoo. And yeah, when I came across that line again, I was like, yeah, that's, I feel like that's, you got something there. That's definitely something. It's definitely something. This next one is honestly just for fun. So this one is on right above my right ankle on the outside of my leg. And it's a little ghosty with two little bats. Little ghosty, little ghosty, little ghosty, little ghosty, little ghosty, little bats. This one was a matching tattoo with one of my best friends from university. We both really love Halloween. You know, we always kind of joked that, like, oh, next time we see each other, we hang out, like, let's get matching tattoos, haha, like, LOL, you know, imagine if kind of thing. But then this time it was just kind of like, why don't we? Like, let's. We should. So we did. We each got the same one. And yeah, so I think that it's honestly just really fun to have a matching tattoo with one of your best friends. That's about something that you both really love, and that's Halloween. And speaking of another fun one, another fun one. This one is a Schitt's Creek tattoo. A Schitt's Creek tattoo. This is actually a cover-up of another tattoo that I had. That was, the old tattoo was, gosh, I got it a day before I had, like, moved back home after university. And I got, you know, like, schools are like U of, you know, whatever it is. So that's what I got. I got my university's like U of initials almost. So I had that for a long time. You know, just like going to that university and having that experience as a student where it's a university town as well. Like, literally everything is catered to students. So of course you're going to have a good time as a student. Once you leave and come back and then start working there, I think my opinions kind of changed a little bit. So I did want to cover that tattoo up with something. I wasn't sure what to get, and it was not like an impulsive kind of thing, but it wasn't like, you know, I spent 6 months thinking about this tattoo and planning it out. It was kind of like, I kind of just want to get this covered up, like, now. What can I get that is still, like, fun for me, and I still really like, and am probably going to like in 20 years or whatever. So I got a big rose with a banner that says, "Best wishes, warmest regards." And just also a kind of like really funny story about this tattoo was that the city I was living in, there were so many, there were like a decent amount of tattoo shops. There were a lot of tattoo places, and I had never been to the one that I got this done at, and it was between this one and another one that I kept going back and forth on. So I picked that tattoo shop. As I was getting it done, he was asking me about the tattoo he was covering, and he was like where and like when did you get this, and like where did you get it done? But yeah, I said like it was literally the day before I had like moved back home. I graduated in 2014, and there was this like tattoo and piercing shop that was across the street from the mall at the time. Now it's no longer there. And I don't think it was there when I went to get this cover up done. And he was like, he had said, you know, I used to work at that place, and I've done this tattoo before. He was like, I'm pretty sure I did this tattoo. And I was like, no, like, you're lying. Like, you're like, no frickin' way you did this one, and now doing the cover up for it, like, without me realizing, right? Like, I had no idea. Like, I don't remember who the artist was back in 2014. Like, I don't know. But yeah, like, that was just like so wild. I'm still really happy with it, and I think it's just fun. Yeah, I think that's all of them. I want more though. I want more tattoos. I don't really know what I want to get though. That's always the problem. Just trying to think of something and find something. I think it'd be really fun to have like a beer themed one. I've seen a lot of cool tattoos that are just like the 4 main ingredients that make up beer, and you know, it can be really creative and stuff, but I don't know. We'll see. But oh my gosh, this video has gone on far too long. I just talk way too much, but I hope you still